This is a shout out to my BBHI. What does BBHI stand for? Bum Black Hebrew Israelites. That's right. I'm starting with you bum Black Hebrew Israelites. Zephaniah 3 verse 8. Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey, for my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. You get some dumb Black Hebrew Israelites to say that happened already. Did that happen already? Because I still see the militaries of the world in full force and full effect. Okay? I didn't see the Lord return and destroy these armies of the world. When did this happen? Where in history did this happen? It did not happen yet. So what's going to happen at the time when the Lord does that? Watch the next verse. For then, what do you mean for then? Meaning at the time when he smites the armies of the world, for then will I turn to the people of pure language, that they may all call upon the name of the Lord to serve him with one consent. Why do we need to serve the Lord with one consent? But you know what, before I get to that part, we can't skip over the part, for then will I turn to the people of pure language. What does that imply? It implies that the Hebrews of today is not pure. It is not pure. You got your Sephardic form of Hebrew, you got your Germanic form of Hebrew, okay? You got an Aramaic form of Hebrew, and then you got your Negro form of Hebrew. So, let's read that again. For then will I turn to the people in pure language, that they may all call upon the name of the Lord to serve him with one consent. Why do we need to call upon the name of the Lord with one consent? The Lord wants us all to say the same thing. So in today's day and age, what do you have? Regarding the name of the Father, quote unquote, you got Yahweh is one, you got Yahawah is number two. Then you got Yahawah, they have heard that one. You have another one that says Ahaya Ashara Ahai, which is I am that I am. Okay? So, what about the Lord Christ? What about the Son of God? You got Yahawashi, you got Yahshua, you got Yehoshua, you got did I say Yahawashi? I said Yahawashi. What else is there? But these are the names that pop to my mind right now. Okay? So there's much confusion, and that's what the Lord said. He's going to restore the pure language. But most Black Hebrew Israelites don't believe that. They believe, hey, we got it already. We don't need the Lord to give us nothing. That's the mistake. That's the mistake. And when you start condemning people for not pronouncing, listen to what I'm about to say, for not pronouncing the name of the Lord the way you pronounce it, wow, that's where you get it. That's where it.
All right, Shalom. This is Yahawah by Yasha of the Lions Den Camp. I want to say Kal Halayim La Yahawah, Pa Hashem Yahawashi, Pa Hashem Harakah Kodash, Ma'amah. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and the elders. Shalom to you, Akim, Nagwatim, and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. I want to start off with this scripture right here. Isaiah 8:20. To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. All right. This is 2 Peter 2:1. All right. This is a true saying right here. It says, but there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you. All right. So he's a false teacher, because you have false prophets as well that prophesy lies. All right. And this guy would be considered a false teacher and a false prophet. Actually, yeah, false prophet as well, because they call themselves prophets. His whole camp, you know, they say, if you look up the names of their camp leaders in the IUIC, they call themselves prophets or deacons or whatever. But a prophet is going to prophesy about future events. You know, the prophecies that Yahawashi warned us about the seals that were broken. He went up there to break the seals and to distribute the prophecies to the elect. All right, the spirit. All right, give full understanding of it. So this guy, he came and warned us about him. But if you look up Yahawashi, they don't teach about the chip, the mark of the beast. They don't teach about a lot of certain current events and things that's happening and going to happen. They teach about a community, just keeping the laws. That's it. You know, being Israelites. Basic entry level stuff. But when it comes to the Lord's name, they deny His name and they make a mockery of it. All right. And you heard them say Germanic Hebrew, Negro Hebrew, and Sephardic Hebrew. It's like, yo, that shows right there. This dude doesn't know shit. Know a thing, excuse my language. Because one, Sephardic Hebrew is the Edomite Hebrew. Two, Germanic Hebrew is Edomite Hebrew modernized. Negro Hebrew, there's no such thing as Negro Hebrew. See, he was being a scoffer. All right. What you have is Canaanitic Hebrew, or basically to sum it up, Shemitic Hebrew, because all the nations that came out of Shem. All right. So then you have that's what they call it, Shemitic. But then you have the Canaanitic Hebrew from the Hamites. All right. And then you also have the Sumerian Hebrew going way back, the Sumerian Hebrew going way back to Babylon. All right. Then you have the Aramaic Hebrew, which goes back to Aram, and so on and so on. So many types of different versions of the Hebrew or the Akkadian script, But you had one that was what called the Proto-Hebrew, and it was spoken correctly. And you can find that um, all the way up to the times of Hezekiah, and there's so much proof on it, man. All right, and how to speak it. But this guy used to speak the name of the Lord. Now he scoffs at the name of the Lord. If you look at his camp members, they believe in the name of Yahawashi. What's this?
Border of blue, wind caught your eye. All praise to the most high. Yahawah, Yahawashi. I dare anybody try to come with lies. This is a lyrical homicide. Christians so dumb they cut themselves. I call that biblical suicide. We the last days, no time for games. Christ coming back with a lot of flames. Yahawah, Yahawashi.
All right, so that's why the Lord called them what? False teachers and false prophets. Because they call themselves prophets and they make a mockery of the Lord's name. And it's confusion. There's division because a lot of his camp members believe in the name of Yahawashi, but the head of their camp is denying the Lord's name. 2 Peter 2:1. But there were false prophets among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you, who privily shall bring in damnable heresies. And that's what he has done. Isn't that clear? He has brought in nothing but damnable heresies, man. Their doctrine is off. Even he's denying the Lord that bought them, and bring upon themselves swift destruction. All right. And many shall follow their pernicious ways, by reason of whom the way of truth shall be evil spoken of. And is that not them? Many of them. IUIC is a wide gate, man. There's many people that's going to that, flocking to that camp. Even the women, they have women in the classes, but you hear about how perverted and prideful these classes are dealing with IUIC. You have Nate up there talking all perverted in front of the women, disrespecting the Lord's name as well. All right, so imagine you got your woman in the class with you, or your daughters, and then they call him, whatever they call him, deacon, bishop, right? And then he in the class with his old ass talking like this.
Lord, help me out. Here we go, brothers. Tell us about. Get you some jelly. Put that jelly on. Listen, you got. See the hand motion? 10 minutes. I ain't giving it 10 minutes. If you don't do what you used to do, I'm going out this door. Play games. Don't do what you used to do, I'm going out this door. I'm going out this door. Wait a minute. I'm trying to play games. What's this? Because you know if she went with the white man, he'd have her doing the nastiest thing ever. And she would never tell the white man, I don't do that. Okay. White man got his foot on her head, she's vomiting, and he's still knocking her back out. She don't say nothing. Grief.
All right. So with that being said, let's get into the scripture that he broke down incorrectly. All right. So where is it at? All right. So this is Zephaniah 3 and 8. Now Nate and IUIC, they break this down wrong and correct. They break this scripture down incorrectly, because where it says he shall return unto the people a pure language to call upon him with one consent. What that means is there are going to be some in this time that call upon him, but in the kingdom, all Israel is going to call upon him with one consent. All right, but he broke it down as nobody's going to be calling on him in a pure language in this time. So they're supposed to call him Christ. Well, the word Christ just means anointed. So that's why you got to watch these people that just say anointed. They be like, yeah, Christ, man. But basically just saying anointed. They're not saying the anointed. It would be the Christ, right? Or even that comes from Krishna, which is a Hindu pagan deity, pagan god, man, pagan demon, an idol. That's where it comes from, Krishna. But if they want to call it that, it would say the Christ, right? But it would say in English, the Messiah. So imagine somebody in conversations talking to you and they say, yeah, man, when Messiah come back, that's not proper language or grammar. What you would say is, when the Messiah comes back, not when Messiah comes back or when anointed comes back or when Christ comes back. What you would say is when the Christ. So that's how you know that's not his name. That's his title, the Christ. Or Krishna would be Christ. That's the demon or idol. What it would be is the Messiah or the anointed one, or Hamashiach in the Hebrew. All right, Hamashiach. The Ha is the, Mashiach is anointed. So the anointed one. So they're not even speaking correctly. All right. So what it would be is Yahawashi. All right. Not Jesus, which you look at, then look up during the times in Greece, they named a lot of areas with the last few letters as SUS, paying homage to their idol Zeus. That's why they have names with SUS at the end of it. All the lands over there. All right. What they call it, Ephesus, all these different places. I can't think of it right now. I probably said that wrong, but the SUS at the end of the names. That's why they have Jesus, Hail Zeus. All right. So we're not supposed to be dealing with any of those. His name is Yahawashi in the pure language. And the scriptures say right here, as I'm going to read it, as he broke it down incorrectly, that there's going to be a few that's going to be calling on that name correctly in this time before the deliverance. All right, he was right about that. This is talking about after the deliverance, and then later on in the scripture, it goes to the times we're living in right now. So let's get it. Zephaniah 3 and 8. Therefore, wait ye upon me, saith Yahawah, until I rise up to the prey. Now, who's the prey? 2/3 of our people like Nate, IUIC. That's what we're waiting for. Being patient. And also these heathens. All right, Esau and these other heathens, these nations. For my determination is to gather the nations. And the Lord is also gathering the wicked of our nation too, into little groups and shit. Excuse me, pushing them to the left. that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them my indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. Right? So Nate the snake, he brought it out right here. He said, hey, this is talking about right now, or the destruction when the Lord destroys Babylon, which he doesn't really go into. Verse 9, it says, for then will I turn to the people a pure language. All right. So he's saying then, so after the destruction, then the Lord will give us a pure language. That's not what it's saying. All right. That doesn't make sense. Because even in Egypt, we were able to call on the name of Yahawah. All right. At the time of Egypt, you know, when we were in Egypt, you had people that were enslaved in caves. I'm going to do a lesson on that. They have writings that were in the Egyptian tongue, but when it gets to the Most High's name, it's in the Paleo Hebrew, Yahawah. So they were speaking to him just like we speak in the English, but when we get to the Lord's name, it's Yahawah. All right, and that's just it. That's how it was, and that's what the Lord is saying now. But in the kingdom, we're all going to have the pure language. We're not going to be speaking English. We're not going to be speaking any other language. We're going to speak the pure tongue of Hebrew. All right. Will we be able to speak other language? We may, but they're going to be bastard tongues. But we're going to be able to speak the the Paleo Hebrew modernized, like in heaven, the way they speak it in heaven. We're gonna be speaking it on earth, and that's like fluent Hebrew. And we can't, we're not able to do that right now, but we do know the name of the Lord to call upon him. It's just common sense, man. But this guy cannot get it. And he like, you bum Israelite. See that people get money. Y'all know the people in your family. They don't call you a bum until they get money. When they get money, they like, you bum ass nigga. But you know it's these type of dudes, man. They like the church pastors. All right. It's all about the money. He pointing his finger like he Arsenio Hall and shit. You remember that guy from Keenan Ivory Wayans when he played him in Living Color, long ass finger and shit. Weird, dude, creepy man. It says Zephaniah 3:8. So the Lord said, "Wait ye upon him." That's what we're supposed to do. Is wait, saith Yahawah by Hashem Yahawashi, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations. All right, so let me get to the point. Verse 9. For then will I turn to the people a pure language. And that pure language is called Proto-Hebrew. Proto means first Hebrew, or what you would call biblical Hebrew. All right? It was called biblical Hebrew, or what they call Paleo-Hebrew, which would be, the word paleo just means ancient. All right? And it was dubbed as, before it was called Proto-Hebrew, and then later during the time of Tiglath-Pileser and Hezekiah, in the 8th and 7th century BCE, Tiglath-Pileser, he coined it as ancient Hebrew, Paleo Hebrew, and he coined the um, the Akkadian script, or what was later called uh, uh, what was it called, man? Sumerian script. He called it Aramaic, which was called paying homage to Aram. All right, so which was dealing with the um, Assyrians, and they were speaking the Aramaic. All right. So anyway, you had different because they took on the Aramaic as their main language. All right, pushing aside their pure tongue, dealing with the Assyrian Asherite tongue. So anyway, so you had different forms of the Hebrew, but the one we speak is dealing with Hezekiah. The king that was over Judah. So now it says, "For then will I turn to the people of pure language, that they may all call upon the name, to all, not just some, that they may all call upon the name of Yahawah to serve him with one consent, right? Because right now it's not set up for all Israel to serve him with one consent. It's only set up for who to serve him. It says, this is Sirach 17 and 10. And the elect shall praise his holy name. See that? So the elect are going to praise his holy name, not all Israel. Before I move on, let's skip down to right here. See, that's why Nate the snake wouldn't go down further and read, because he knows that it says this and it would cut him. Zephaniah 3 and 11. Oh wait, let's start from 12. I will also, see, this is before the destruction. You see that? I will also leave in the midst of thee an afflicted and poor people. So that's us, a remnant, all right? Not the whole Israel, but a remnant shall be saved. Why? Because they're going to be the first fruits that call upon the name of the Lord. And then in the kingdom, all Israel shall know him. So I mean, we're all going to call on him with one consent, even the children, youngest to the oldest. And we're going to speak fluent Hebrew. We're going to know the law perfectly. It says, I will also leave in the midst of thee an afflicted and poor people, that's us, and they shall trust in the name of Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi. So what the hell is this dude talking about? This damn demon, Nate, that has made merchandise of the people, making all this money. He want to call people bums, but let me see this dude make money without being in the truth. Oh well, no, it's not the truth, but calling himself an Israelite. I want to see him make some money. Other than that, I heard he was just a detective. He was standing out there with a long trench coat, teaching like he, looking like a straight up bum. And we all know, man, the real bums are the people that make merchandise of the people, like TD Fakes and all them, and Creflo Steal Your Dollar, Nate. They're all the same. They're the bums. They make money off of people, steal them, manipulating the people, man, off the Lord's word. They the bums, because without the Lord's word, they would be broke. All right. So it says what? I will also leave in the midst of thee an afflicted and poor people. They shall trust in the name of Yahawah, Ba'ashem Yahawashi. All right. Behold, at that time I will undo all that afflict thee. So this is talking about now. And I will save her that halteth, and gather her that was driven out, and I will get them praise and fame in every land where they have been put to shame. And at that time I will bring you again, even in the time that I gather you. For I will make you a name and a praise among all people of the earth, when I turn back your captivity before your eyes, saith Yahweh. But he said, so while that's happening, there's going to be afflicted and poor people that's calling upon the name of the Lord. And the sincere ones out here that believe in his name, that's us. All right. This is Romans 11 and 7. What then? Israel have not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election have obtained it, and the rest were blinded. According as it is written, Yahweh have given them the spirit of slumber, eyes that they should not see, and ears that they should not hear until this day. All right, so they can't get his name. This is Matthew 13 and 15. For this people's heart is waxed gross, and their ears are dull of hearing, and their eyes they have closed. That's Nate and IUIC. Lest at any time they should see with their eyes and hear with their ears, and should understand with their heart, and should be converted, and I should heal them. But blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. Zephaniah 13 and 8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith Yahawah, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. See, that's the 1/3 of the 144,000 that call upon the name of the Lord. All right, he said, those that call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. So we have to know his name. This dude here, man, he said, we got to wait until the kingdom to call upon him in the pure language. because the scripture said we all will call upon him with one consent. What does that mean? That means right now we have to teach each other, and there's only an elect few that's going to call upon his name in sincerity and in truth and believe. But in the kingdom, all are going to know him, even Nate silly ass. All right. Verse 9. And I will bring the third part through the fire, the elect, and will refine them as silver is refined. That's the affliction. And will try them as gold is tried, and they shall call on my name. All right. So we're going to call on his name in this time. The elect shall know his name, but not everybody. And it said, what? They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. Ain't no title. Ain't no his name mean the title. No, you're going to call his name, and he going to hear you. Not saying, I'm an Israelite. He going to hear you. Or calling these false names in English and Latin and all this Yiddish and Sephardic Hebrew and Germanic, as the dude's talking about. Calling him Christ. What the hell's wrong with these people, man? It says, and I will hear them, man, after we call on his name. And I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, Yahawah is my power. You see that? We're going to say Yahawah. We're going to say his name. Because it's not supposed to say the Lord there. It's going to say Yahawah. Yahawah is my power. That separates our God from any other name. All right. All right. So this is where in the kingdom. All right. So this is what he should have went to, and this will help them understand, because he believes that we won't speak the pure language until we get in the kingdom. But I just proved, and I can continue to prove, that the elect are going to call on him in these times to be delivered. All right. He said, we'll call on his name. He's going to hear us from heaven. It's that simple. And in the kingdom, all Israel is going to call on him. See, Nate and IUIC, those many people that they have, 1,000 members, they ain't going to be wishy-washy anymore. In the kingdom, they're going to know the Lord's name completely. See, right now, you got some that call on his name and some that don't, that are in IUIC. You got some that call on his name and some that don't, that are in Israel, that are Israelites. All right. Some are Muslims, some call on Jesus, all kind of madness, man, calling him Christ. But we know his name is Yahawashi, Yahawashi, Hebrews 8 and 10. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, not all nations, but with Israel, saith Yahawah. I will put my laws in their mind and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a God, and they shall be to me a people. So this is the elect. But this is talking about to all Israel though. All right. Verse 11. And they shall not teach every man his neighbor. See, right now we have to teach each other the name of the Lord. Why? Because we're not all calling on him with one consent. But in the kingdom, we're going to call on him with one consent. Right? It's just that simple, man. This dude twisted the scriptures like a serpent would. And this dude said, we're not going to call on him pure language or in the Hebrew in his true name until we get to the kingdom. No, he's talking about Nate silly ass ain't gonna call on him until he get to the kingdom. He's gonna be destroyed. And they shall not teach every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, know the Lord. For all shall know me, from the least to the greatest. All right. So he said all shall know him. Why? Because 2/3 don't know him, man. Even if some do call on his name, they still have to get the doctrine correct, like ISUPK. They're not warning the people. So those people that they're not warning, that blood is going to be on their hands. This dude denying Yahawashi's name, so Yahawashi is going to deny Nate unless he repents. All right. For I will be merciful to their unrighteousness and their sins, and their iniquities will I remember no more. And that's in the kingdom. So the ones that are not calling on the Lord's name, in sincerity in this time, put it like this: we're all going to call on the Lord's name with one consent, and we shall all know Him in the kingdom. Just like some of Israel didn't. Let me get a scripture. All right, this is why it says this: Romans 9:27. Wait, 26. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, Ye are not my people, there shall they be called the children of the living God. All right. And that's why Yahawashi said, we shall call upon him, and he gonna say, it is my people. That's the elect. Isaiah, there goes Isaiah again, also crieth concerning Israel, though the number of the children of Israel be as the sand of the sea. There's a lot of Israelites on this earth. All right. Whether they know it or not. A remnant shall be saved. A remnant. Why? Because this is why. Romans 10:13. For whosoever what? Of the children of Israel. All right. Whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. All right. That's why he said a remnant of Israel shall be saved. So that's how you know the whole world is not talking about any other nations where it says whosoever. Because I just read a scripture before this where it said a remnant of Israel shall be saved, even though they be as the sand of the sea. Why? Because the remnant is going to call upon his name. But how then shall they call on him in whom they have not believed? And how shall they believe in him? So call on him. How are they going to call on his name and they don't believe in his name? And how shall they believe in him of whom they have not heard? So they're just in a Gentile state of mind. They haven't even heard the name of Yahawashi yet. But the ones that have heard it and they deny his name, how shall they call on him? And how shall they hear without a preacher? And how shall they preach, Nate, except they be sent? As it is written, how beautiful are the feet of them that preach the gospel of peace and bring glad tidings of good things, man. This dude is bringing blasphemy and scoffing. All right. Galatians 6:3, man. Because this dude broke that scripture down completely wrong. And, Galatians 6:3. For if a man think himself to be something when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself. This guy is deceiving himself, calling people bums. Putting himself on an exalted level because of his money. And if you go to Esau, what Chris Rock said one time, I don't care if you get the richest Jake. Oh, he said black man, but Jake, Esau, the so-called white man, would never want to be a so-called Negro. Why? Because they look at Nate like a bum. You see that? That's what cracked me up when Jake always get mad and call people niggas or they call each other bums. Well, that's what Esau called us. So they just mockingbirds. But guess what? For if a man think anything of himself to be something when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself. So this dude is deceiving himself unto the end. But let every man prove his own work, and then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone and not in another. But right now, it says a man's work shall be tried by the fire, and if a man's work get burned up, that's just it. So he's leading them people to destruction, to the chip. They're not going to be able to call on the Lord because they're not going to know his name, or they're going to be as blasphemed his name so much or scoffed at it, desecrated his name, and to the point where they ain't going to want to call his name. Or they're going to be confused. All right? But it says what? For every man shall bear his own burden. So they're bringing that upon themselves. Let him that is taught in the word communicate unto him that teacheth in all good things. Be not deceived. Yahawah is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. All right, I'm going to end with this. 1 John 4:1. Beloved. So that's talking about to the sincere ones. All right, the church. The called out, man. Spoken of in Wisdom of Solomon 1 and 5. All right. Matter of fact, I'm gonna end it with another one. It says, "Beloved, believe not every spirit." So you can't believe these dudes, man. But try the spirits whether they are of Yahawah, because many false prophets are going out into the world, as it warned us in the beginning. Many false prophets and false teachers. All right. So you got to try these people. I don't care who they are, man. All right. So now again, remember, it said Israel's going to be at the sand of the sea, but only a remnant is going to call on the name of the Lord and be saved. All right. So only a remnant shall be saved. That's why I said in the kingdom, we're going to call on him with one consent. But right now, he left in the midst of the lands, in the midst of the world. He said what? He left a remnant of afflicted and poor people that shall trust in the name of Yahawashi. Second Ezra 2 and 38. Arise up and stand. Behold, the number of those that be sealed in the feast of the Lord. This is the feast right now. So this is the time where we're sealed with the Lord's name. All right. The feast of the Lord. That's right now. Which are departed from the shadow of the world and have received glorious garments of the Lord. Take thy number, O Zion, and shut up those of thine that are clothed in white, which have fulfilled the law of Yahawashi. The main law is what? To serve Yahawashi. And by serving him, we're going to keep the law to our best of our ability anyway. But IUIC, they believe that they're going to fulfill the law like the law of Moses. All right. The number of thy children whom thou longest for is fulfilled. That's what we're waiting for the elect to wake up. Beseech the power of Yahawah that thy people which have been called from the beginning may be hallowed. So be separated. Hallowed, meaning holy. So it's about the Lord making a separation. He's doing it through the doctrine, man. That's Amos chapter 9, the sift. And Nate was sifted out. Second Ezra 2 and 46. Where is it at? There you go. Then said I unto the angel, what young person is this that crowneth them, and giveth them palms in their hands? So he answered and said unto me, it is the son of Yahawah. See, they can't just say that. What are they going to say? The son of God, that's it? They got to say his name, Yahawashi. It is the son of Yahawah, whom they have confessed in the world. Then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord. All right. So we're the ones that standing stiffly for the name of the Lord. Unmovable. All right. Or immovable. You know. But Nate and his cronies, they're like the chaff, you know. Right? They're like the damn chaff, man. An unuseful resource. That's what they are. So with that, I'm gonna say shalom.